Welcome, everyone. This is Suzi Khatami, the producer and host of Live with Suzi shows and programs. We're very happy and honored to have Mr. Shane Malek with us once again, a continuation of our programs that we have started. Believe it or not, today we are offering you the episode number 13 or 12 plus 1, however you want to look at it. We're happy to have you, Mr. Malek, to talk about the world of finance, in particular about the retirement plans that you have started discussing this with us and the importance of it, the steps to take, etc., etc. As you know, Mr. Malek is a financial consultant with many years of experience and also a lot of happy clienteles. And he's also president of FMISINC. And we're happy to have him. If you are interested to check back our other episodes that we have started a while back, you can for sure check Mr. Malek's website, which is www.fmisinc.com. And also, if you want to make appointments to go see him, you can call the toll-free number 1-800-477-1556. Needless to say, you can also check out our episodes that we have done so far, either through the website or check Live with Suzi's social media sites. We are everywhere, including podcast and Spotify. Welcome to the show, Mr. Malek, and let me congratulate you on your new move and your new location.
Thank you, Suzi. Thank you for the great welcome. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, thank you. It was kind of an adventure, but it's behind me.
You survived.
I survived it. It was kind of, we were in that location for about 18 years.
Wow.
So you can imagine the kind of, stuff you accumulate generally. So anyways, here we are. Thank you for asking.
Well, a change is always good.
Change is always good. Absolutely.
That's wonderful. I can't wait to come and see your new office. Maybe we'll come with my assistant Shahed once again, like the good old times we came to visit your office and make another video from your new location so people can see it and check it out.
I would love that anytime.
Let me give the new address just in case our viewership and listenership would like to jot it down. It's 21031 Ventura Boulevard, suite number 330. It's in Woodland Hills. Zip code is 91364. I'm sure you would update all the websites and etc. In a short time. But in the meantime, I just wanted to give it out for the time being. So, how's everything? How's the market doing? How's everything doing, Mr. Malek? We can't wait to hear more from you.
Well, you know what? Everything seems to be okay. The numbers that you see, actually, the stock market has been doing okay. It's very hard to tell. There's always a rumor that things will change and will change. I don't think, there's a lot of indications, like I've always said, the inflation rate is one of them. So right now, for instance, the rates that people can finance their homes is one of the lowest ever been in this country. So that's good in a way, but that's also, I guess, with everything will soon change. But in all, everything is fine. So if everybody's on par to become a retiree, this is a time. So
okay. You bring us to the point of retirement and the plans that has been the main focus of our talk since we've started the episodes. And let me ask you this for today's sake of our conversation. How do people in their mid-50s or 60s know it's actually time to retire, if they're ready for it? And if they're not, then what? Would you
You know
please
what?
elaborate on it?
Absolutely. It's a great question, actually, because it's very difficult to really understand as to whether or not one can retire without having to change the lifestyle. That's always my focus. That's always what I always reiterate, but always I focus. I want to make sure that if you are retiring, you could, as I've always said, sustain the lifestyle that you have. That's very important. So with that in mind, you have to understand, if say you are in your high 50s, low 60s, and thinking of retirement, you should always consider where you're going to live, whether you're staying in the same house or not, what kind of payments you have, whether or not you can afford to have, and what kind of income you're going to have, whether you have a pension or not, whether you have a 401k or not. But because majority of people have no idea what's out there that can help them to kind of speed up that process, it's very important to speak to someone like me to understand what they can do with what they have already. So it's a good review that you should have, first of all, with your annual reviews with your consultants anyways, yearly. But besides that, you need to understand that what you can do with what you already have, whether or not that could carry you through for the life expectancy that you may have, or if not, what other products could help you speed that up. Because if you have 401k at this stage of your life, you have to sort of be absolutely maximized in it. You have to contribute the most you can, that legally you're allowed to. What the government allows you to contribute to, your 401ks or, whatever kind of a payroll deduction plan that you may have with your employer. If you have a pension plan, you have to understand the age that you can retire within your pension plan programs, that you can have all the benefits that you currently work and have, continue to have. Keep in mind, a lot of these pension plans that people have does have a certain benefit while you're working, but that ends, or if it doesn't end immediately upon retirement, it will end in a shorter period after that, such as health program, things like that nature. So you need to understand what your pension really is offering you. So what I always suggest is, at this stage of the game, as to whether or not you have a planner or not, you need to speak to someone like me and understand what it is, what your options are, and what you can do. If you're ready to go, then they can tell you that these are the situations you're in. You can do this and that, or if not, then they can show you how you can sort of, pave your way through that, whatever the goal may be in a year or two or three down the line. But in most cases, I can always tell one that you can easily have this amount of income based on what you have. Whether that carries you through or not, I don't know. I need to know more about you before I can, determine where you are in life. But basically, those are the things you need to find out. It's imperative to understand what's out there that can help you, because there are things that you can do that, even that the dollar amount may not have it there, but the programs are set up in such way that they can guarantee also a longer period of payment to you. Then comes the question of Social Security again. When would you start that, and so forth and so on. And so it's always a great idea to sit with someone every year and see if you're on the right track, you're doing the right things, and then also talk about numbers, particularly if you're mid 50s and up. It's very important to understand where you'll be in the next 5-10 years as to whether or not you can retire or not. Those are always the questions. By the way, majority of people cannot, so that you understand. Majority of people, unfortunately, will not be in that financial situation that can retire easily just like that, unless you have a pension.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I kept quiet as you were talking. I'm like, can most people benefit from retirement plans? in the situation that they can actually make some plans ahead of time. Because obviously you mentioned Social Security. I don't think that really can be something that we can depend on or be able to sustain the lifestyle we're accustomed to. Far from it, if anything. Am I right?
Correct, absolutely. But the Social Security, again, I don't know where everyone is in their income that they receive, but at best, if I throw some numbers, maybe you'll see it for yourselves. Social Security at best, at 66, may do about $3,000 a month for you. So if that is something that you can live with and would be sufficient, then that's it. If not, then you need to look at some other avenues to be able to improve that number. But of course, 401ks, in normal situation, if you work for a company for 30, 35 years at this stage of the game and you have your 401k, you should easily have about $500,000 to about $1 million in your 401ks.
What about self-employed people?
Self-employed people then have other things you can deal with, whether you've been involved with the KEO plans for yourself, a SEP IRA, or those are the things that if you've contributed. Unfortunately, with self-employed people, again, most people are not as disciplined enough to do that year in and year out. And then things change along the way. It's sad, but it does. You've planned something, you start working towards your plans, and then situations come up. Divorces. You have bad economy, bad investments, changing jobs. There's so many factors that change that. So you need to readjust yourself and see what you can do to improve that based on the number of years you have ahead of you. So, it's one of those things that in life one never knows what to do with. And also, of course, you have to realize life expectancies are certain numbers that you have. You may, for sure, go way beyond that. Once you go, if your life expectancy is 86, these days people live in the live until the mid 90s or even higher. So that means that you have an extra 10 years that you haven't thought of yet. So
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that you really need to sit down and figure out, and you have to have option A, B, and C. And then, of course, some backups also on top of that. So
absolutely. So
it doesn't hurt to talk to a financial consultant.
Totally. So what I sum up from what we discussed today and your knowledgeable conversation with us always is really it's good and it's important to see your financial consultant on a yearly basis minimum to kind of evaluate and reevaluate your plans, to make sure you are on the right page. And if things have changed, they can, again, change it accordingly. So hopefully we won't see any surprises in our lifestyle. Thank you, Shane Malek, for everything you always do for us and our viewership. I always get good compliments and good feedback. Thanks a million for helping our community. We appreciate you. And until 2 weeks that we have you back with us on Live with Suzi, we wish you a pleasant time. Thanks again.
Thank you, Suzi. It's an honor to be part of your show. Thank you.
Wonderful having you as always.
Thank you.